Stellar Blade is a third-person action-adventure game developed by Shift Up, released in 2024. Since its reveal back in 2021 as Project Eve, I've had my eye on Stellar Blade. It has a sort of elegance and cool factor to it, and of course, the plot. I got some DMC vibes from the gameplay videos, and Nier Automata, one of my top games of 2017, was apparently a huge inspiration for the game, so consider my balls excited. Let's get into it. Right off the bat, the game looks pretty good. The protagonist, Eve, has that slick looking suit going on, the environments are detailed, and the enemies look gross, slimy, and full of tentacles just like in the hentais. What more can you ask for? While there are some minor issues like blurry textures even on high settings, and Eve's hair can look pixelated and noisy at times, even with upscaling off, the world nails the wasteland / abandoned ruins feel, and coupled with a soundtrack that I can only describe as nearcore, it's a joy to explore and just run around in. The game runs well, but there were a couple crashes. One happened in the flooded area with the dead bodies, and the other happened when one of the final bosses did a special attack on my ass. It was fucking hilarious. My shit got fucked so hard that the game stopped running. There has been a patch since then, so it might be fixed now, but who knows. Overall, game looks good and runs well. You play as Eve, a soldier of the 7th Airborne Division sent from the colony to Earth to eradicate creatures called Nightibas. You'll be exploring various areas, whacking around tentacle monsters, collecting materials for upgrades and cosmetics, fight a boss here and there, and do some quests for the people of Zion. The combat feels good, but there were some things that diddled my anus. It's really flashy and there's a decent amount of moves to unlock and use. There are 2 sets of skills, Beta and Burst, each with their own bar, which seems a bit excessive, but it's more shit you can spam on bosses with. You also get a drone gun with its own upgrades and ammo types, and Taki mode, which is like the DatLJGuy in the Devil May Cry games, except it makes you invincible for a while and you can spam another set of skills, so technically there are 3 sets of skills in the game. You have a 4-hit combo to start with, and you can add more moves as you upgrade Eve. The combo itself kinda sucks because after the last hit, it takes control from you for a bit before you can do anything again, so if an enemy comes at you right after, you're gonna take a hit. This incentivized me to just not do the final hit and just parry cancel out of the combo, which is a weird way to play. The other thing that blew my balls is the perfect dodge. The game goes slow motion when you do it, and it messes up the flow when you're dodging a boss's combo because of the recovery time afterwards being too long. These issues are minor though and didn't stop me from having fun with the combat. Fighting bosses, learning their patterns is just as satisfying as it is in the Souls games. The game is way too easy in the first few hours, but it ramps up to crusty cumsock level of hard by the end, which is to say, it's very well paced. I thought not having hard mode available from the beginning was shitty, but it's kind of warranted here. There were a few bosses from the mid to end point where I busted my blue balls to beat. There were some fights that had me going, damn, and damn. There are builds that you can make with the exospines and gears that you find throughout the game. It's one of those things where you can make something powerful if you're creative and try to maximize Eve's potential, but you also do just fine if you max your defenses and learn the boss patterns. It's like Sekiro where the prosthetics help but not needed. I beat the game twice, first with a defense and parry build, second with a beta speed build, and yeah, they didn't feel all that different. On the subject of replayability, the game adds new skills and outfits on New Game Plus, which is more than most games. It's not a big game changer, but it's something. Overall, the combat is good, but not great. I love me some cosmetic customization in my games, and Stellar Blade doesn't disappoint. There are a lot of outfits to unlock and find, with a decent amount of hairstyles and accessories to choose from. But this is also one of those games that I wish had a color slider for the outfits and hairstyles, or at least a set of colors to choose from, because some outfits are just recolors anyway, and that would have trimmed out the fat. You can make Eve look as cool, fashionable, sexy, or revealing as you want. Would also like the body slider too, but I think I'm asking too much at this point. Exploration is kinda weird. In the more linear sections, it's straightforward. There are chests with upgrade materials scattered around that you can find and unlock by doing minigames, but it's different for the open maps like the Wasteland. There's still chests and shit, of course, but to find the meaningful stuff like most of the side quests, you have to accept them in the hub area of the game, Zion. I prefer to play side quests as I find them, but this is not how DatLJGuy do things. There are multiple points of interest on the maps to find, but nothing to do in them unless you accept the quests in Zion first, so it made exploration feel inorganic. I was in the desert and found an opera house / theater and checked it out, but there wasn't much to interact with, so I left. It isn't until hours later, at the end of one of the side quest lines, they want me to check the opera house out, and magically all the quest items spawned and I can interact with them. What, I can't get the quest items and keep them for later? Come on, man. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I wish it was more like Gothic 3's quests, where if you just so happen to do something that counts towards a quest you don't know about, it'll count towards its progress. Don't let Gothic 3 beat you at anything. Seriously. Anyway, because of the way the side quests work, I didn't really want to explore anywhere unless it was connected to a quest, and doesn't that defeat the point of having an open map area? The side quests, excluding the bulletin ones, are all at least decent. They all have something to do with the game's themes. Enya's questline is my favorite, with an emotional story and likable characters. You can get free outfits from side quests too, and that's always a win. I thought the gameplay loop would be like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, where there are multiple open maps to explore, but there's only 2 here, which for me is awesome. It feels a lot less bloated and doesn't encourage you to get everything on the map with checklists, even though those are optional. This game is the right length, and I can fap to that. Overall, the gameplay is a bit mixed. I enjoy the combat and side quests, but exploration could have been better. The story is about Eve, a soldier of the 7th Airborne Unit from the colony run by the godfigure of this world, the Mother Sphere, to exterminate creatures known as the Nightibas. She gets sent down ODST style, but the drop pod malfunctions. Eve's pal Taki busts her out and they start kicking some Nighttiba ass. Unfortunately, Taki gets busted by a sexy bird Nighttiba and Eve is left alone. Luckily, a passerby named Adam saves Eve and forms an alliance with her to take down the Nighttiba while also helping rebuild a town of surviving humans he's a part of, Zion. Along the way, they save an engineer of the 5th Airborne Unit, Lily, who was stuck in her pod for who knows how long from an alpha Nighttiba. The leader of Zion, an old man named Oracle, has info about Nightibas and the whereabouts of the alphas that Eve needs to take down. In exchange for hypercells to power up the town again, Oracle will supply Eve with information. Eve's main goal is to defeat 4 alpha Nightibas, collect their cores, which open the way for her to kill the elder Nighttiba. It's a pretty simple premise, very vanilla as cultured individuals might say, but it soon turns into a tale about finding the truth, questioning one's beliefs, and what makes a human human. It sounds interesting, but is it really? As Eve and crew continue to explore, they found out the truth behind themselves, the Mother Sphere, and the origin of the Nightibas. The Mother Sphere is an AI designed to help with global warming and solve future problems. By improving on bio and nanotechnology, the Mother Sphere was able to stop aging and diseases within the human body. Later on, the Mother Sphere created a new race called the Androidos and deemed it the superior race and started exterminating and replacing the humans with them. Some humans survived and hid inside underground labs where a man named Raphael Marx ran experiments on and genetically modified them to better fight against the Mother Sphere's army. The experiments resulted in the humans turning into the Nighttiba, the main enemies of the game. The funny thing is, the original name for Nightibas is natives, which is really on the nose, like, damn were they bad at naming shit. Anyway, the truth is documented by a soldier from the colony named Raven, who has a secret of her own. Taki, Eve's friend from the beginning, actually got infected and turned into a bird-like alpha Nighttiba, and Eve has to kill her. Later on, Eve has to take the space elevator to the space station to kill the big alpha Nighttiba, which is probably the best area in the game with very nice views and very nice views. But before that, the crew has to help Lily with something. Lily has a progression bar that signifies her rebellion against the Mother Sphere, or something like that, which affects the ending. It fills up after doing certain quests or interacting with certain items. Lily used to live in a greenhouse with a friend of hers called Iberus, who's a super hacker and takes her hacking device. After the space station, Zion gets attacked by Nightibas led by the bird Alpha Nightibah from the beginning. This thing is Raven from the Legacy flashbacks. Get it, Raven? Bird? After beating up the bird, you find Oracle all fucked up in the hypercell room. Turns out he's an Alpha Nightibah who was saved by the people and decided to help them in return. He uses his core to fuse with the other cores to form the Master Core so Eve can go fight the Alpha Nightibah. Before fighting the final guy, Raven comes in like a woman who just got cheated on, talking mad shit about the Elder choosing Eve instead of her, so Eve beats her ass and cut her arms off. Also, what the fuck is she talking about? Adam left before Eve went to the space station, and his tracker says he's at this exact same location. And yup, he's the Elder Nightibah, who's also Raphael Marx. Adam talks about the struggle of coexistence between the humans and Android Eidos, and that the only way to end all this is to fuse Eve's perfect body with his human DNA. You can either fuse with Adam or kill him, because damn is that a wild ass thing to ask somebody. If you kill him, you go back to the colony and the Mother Sphere invades or captures Earth. If you choose to fuse with Adam, Lily's mech gets hacked by the Mother Sphere and fight you. And if your Lily bar is full, Lily will use the hacking stick from Icarus to free herself mid-fight so you don't have to kill her. Otherwise, you get the poo-poo ending. In the best ending, the Mother Sphere comes down to meet Eve and Lily, and she's like, "You guys are alright, but you gotta die now," and fucks off before sending soldiers to fuck them up. After massacring a bunch of soldiers, Eve and Lily go back to Zion to rebuild, and Eve becomes its protector. The end. I find the story to be predictable, but it's not too bad. Naming two of the main characters after prominent figures in the Bible, and the fact that the devs were pretty outspoken about the near inspiration sets up expectations. The humans or monsters twist didn't really work for me, because as soon as I saw the Android Eidos and they called themselves humans, I knew the real ones were somewhere else. I mean, just look at them. Adam and Eve? Well, with those names, they would have to fuck at some point, and yeah, a form of that happened. Speaking of the main characters, they're bland. They're very straightforward, with no memorable quirks at all except for Eve's can collecting thing. But even then, she doesn't sound like she's all that into it. It's like she just finds a can one day and decided to collect them. Have her nerd out about the designs or something. Show her being excited when collecting them. Have her write, record, and edit a 5-hour analysis video about why soda cans make her come. Adam is a nice guy, I guess, but that's all I can say about him because that's all that was shown. There wasn't much build up for his reveal as the Elder Nightibah, so it kinda fell flat. Make it more mysterious and let him show his guilt or shame over what he did as his human self more, so the choice at the end is harder. Lily's the awkward, energetic girl of the group, and she has somewhat of a character arc. Her allegiance to the Mother Sphere is tested as you play the game, but it's only represented by her bar that sometimes appears and in some scenes near the end. I would have liked to actually see her change her views. Seriously, the side characters have more depth than the main cast and feel more human than them. It's fucking wild. Even the ball sack on legs is more interesting. Taki, Eve's friend, in case you forgot, is barely in the game and the devs expect you to care for her for some reason. There's a whole ass mechanic named after her, but you barely get to know her in the game. They could have at least had you do a mission or two with her before killing her off. The ending has you choose between fusing with Adam or killing him, which you can interpret as choosing AI or humanity. While it sounds good on paper, I don't think the game did a good job representing the humanity side very well. This whole time we've been interacting with the Android Eidos, thinking they're humans, and not for a single minute did I think they're not. They have families, things they want to do, and a will to survive. Meanwhile, humans survived the deadly AI only to turn themselves into monsters. I think having an actual human character to display the positives of humanity would have helped. And I don't mean Adam, he's boring. Adam just grows wings and tells you to fuse with him to keep humanity alive because DNA. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, this doesn't feel like both sides have been represented equally for the choice to have weight. I think the devs should have explored more on what the most important aspects of humanity are and if flesh and blood are necessary to be human, or if it's okay to go beyond that. That would be way cooler, I feel. For what it is, it's not the worst thing I've seen, but it's definitely undercooked. Stellar Blade is a solid game. The graphics are good with detailed environments and a good amount of character customization with minor downsides. The combat is fun with a lot of cool moves to get, and the side quests are decent, but the exploration left me blue-balled. Story-wise, some parts are undercooked like the main cast, but it's exciting enough and takes you to cool places. Just don't go in looking for anything too deep. Come here for Eve, kick some ass, and yeah, it's a fun time. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Later.